magnets? Do you have roof toppers, window ads? When you do a job for a client, do you leave a sign in the yard that says you did a job? And, you know, free advertisement, and make an agreement with the client that you'll remove the sign within 2 weeks, give them a 5% discount, whatever. Creative non-street sign ads. This was one of my genius ideas that worked out really well for a guy that did pressure washing. I said, you know, what's your most profitable pressure washing service? And he said, hands down, when we do the white, not Spanish tile, but the white tile roofs, the real expensive tile roofs. He says they're typically only in rich neighborhoods, and people have money to spend, and they're the people that if their roof's dirty, they want it clean. So I said, all right, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go to a neighborhood, nice neighborhood, find the dirtiest roof you can find on the nicest house, knock on the door, and offer them, show them you have insurance and you're legal, this is legitimate. I don't want them to think this is a scam or something, but offer them you will pressure wash their roof for free if they let you put some advertisement signs in their yard for 2 weeks, and if you're allowed to clean part of the roof and put your phone number on it. Then I want you to get some, you know, real sturdy boots, and what I want you to do is I want you to pressure wash a path across the roof, but leave the footprints, leave the dirty footprints going across the roof, and then pressure wash in the roof. Clean roof, call and put your phone number. And as long as the guy agrees to it, it's going to take you an hour to do this. Now you've got a huge billboard on the roof of this guy's house for 2 weeks, plus you got your signs in his yard. And the first day the guy went out and got it, he got like 3 or 4 jobs same day. He was getting 2 or 3 jobs every day off that one roof. And this is something that only cost him an hour of his time, a little bit of labor. And he would go around and do 5, 6 of these a day, and next week have 30, 40, 50 jobs lined up. So there's ways to advertise outside of just your street signs or yard signs and stuff like that. Do you sell products and services that can be sold online? If so, do you have a storefront? Can this stuff be drop shipped directly to your client? Do you have to warehouse it or hold it, store it, or can you have it drop shipped directly? Can they order online by credit card and then have it drop shipped directly so you don't have to have all that labor involved in getting it to them? What type of testimonials, references do you have? Do you have them online? Do you have them in print format? Do you have personal and business credit scores or lines of credit available? If you land a big contract, can you afford it? If not, you need to get that stuff set up ahead of time. I can introduce you to factoring, invoice factoring companies and companies that will finance contracts. But you really should have that in place before you win it. Are your services mobile? Can they be done mobile, on site, or both? What's the process? I need pictures. You know, when you estimate a job, is the estimating done on site? Do you have to go to the job location to do an estimate? Are you hiring estimators? Do you have estimators on staff? Subcontractors, how do they report to you? Do they have to report every morning or return each night? Do their supplies and stuff, is that drop shipped directly to the job site, or do they have to come by the office and pick stuff up? Same thing with communication, same thing with remote reporting. Are they required any dress forms or hair or earring policies? You know, are their vehicles supplied, or do you supply them? Are they using their own vehicles? Are they in good shape? Do they have advertisements? When you do a job, like I was saying earlier, do you leave an advertisement in the client's yard for future, you know, for marketing for future clients? Do you do any other type of advertising? Do you put, you know, those little signs out on the corner of the streets at red lights? Depending on your product or service, could be a good idea. Are your products or services or both sold online? That's somehow doubled up on that one. Warehouse, testimonials. Do you do any marketing, brochures, business cards, print marketing, advertising? Are you registered with Amazon Home Services? Do you provide services that Amazon could hire you for? Are you doing Google AdWords? Are you doing any YouTube video placements, using Thumbtack, Angie's List? Are you paying the Better Business Bureau? Do you have any online complaints that you need to resolve? You know, all this stuff's important. On your website, do you have a sales portal? Do you have a contact us form? You have your phone numbers, employee profiles with contact information for your employees, pictures, testimonials. Your phone calls, your incoming phone calls and messages. Do you actually answer your phone? Do you have a receptionist? Are you using an answering service, voicemail? Are you using Grasshopper, Quick Wireless, or SafeLink? Do you have a fax? Is it toll free? Does it roll over? Your voicemail service, does it have an introduction? Does it have a stupid ringtone or dumb hold music? Or does it have employees extensions so that you can have people easily dial in and ask for the person they're looking for if you don't have a receptionist? Email and text notifications of a voicemail. When you get a voicemail, do you get a notification immediately that there is a voicemail so you can check your voicemail box? If not, how often do you check your voicemail box? I've gotten to the point where when I call a client and their voicemail box is full, I call them back and say, listen, go ahead and just close your doors, shut her down, and just walk away, because you shouldn't own a business if your voicemail box is full. That's just, right off the bat, that's just, you can't do business that way. I mean, you can, but you're not going to do much business. I can tell you right now, when it comes to phone calls, if you're not answering your phone, you're losing part of your business just by not answering your phone. Because I know personally, when I go into the Yellow Pages and I call an ad and I get a voicemail, I call the next ad. When I Google a company in an area and I start calling phone numbers off of Google, if I get a voicemail, I go to the next ad. The person who answers the phone is typically the one that's going to win my business. Do you ever answer your phone? Some people don't answer their phone at all. They let every call go to voicemail because they get so many telemarketers and sales calls. I'm so tired of it, so I stopped answering my phone. You're losing part of your business. I can teach you how to deal with that, how to put a stop to it, or at least make it so that when you get those calls, you don't answer those calls, but you always answer any other calls that you don't know of. Do you know how to detect scams or prevent viruses in your systems? Downtime is downtime. Our office got struck by lightning or something last night. They had internet guys here. They had electrical guys here. Heck, they even had a plumber here today. Obviously lightning is hard to deal with, but there are lightning surge protection systems that you can have. That ours failed, so we're getting a better one that prevent that. But you can also prevent from getting scammed or prevent viruses in your computers. There's software you can use to track what your employees are doing when, if they're playing Angry Birds or if they're actually doing business. Do you allow your employees to use their cell phones at work? Another good one I forgot about. If so, do you allow them to charge their cell phones off the computer? Because if their cell phone has a virus and they charge it off the computer, a lot of times that virus can go to the computer. Have your employees charge their cell phones via the wall. Don't ever allow them to plug into the computers, Outgoing calls and texts. What's your sales call process? Do you have one? Are you just shooting in the dark? Do you leave voicemails properly? Do you answer return calls immediately? Do you get alerts for your return calls? What do you do when you're stuck in phone tag with a client? Do you have an email that's a real domain, or are you using Gmail? If you're using AOL or Yahoo, or some email that's not appropriate, you're killing yourself, because this just doesn't work. And I had a client using this email at Gmail last week to submit a bid. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You can't be doing this stuff, Or do you have your email signatures? Like I use the signatures when I email. So if I got an email I'm going to send more than once, I don't retype it every time. I save it as a signature. And then anytime I need to reuse that email, I just click on it, and there's all the data that I don't have to re-email each. I know people that every time they email, they type the whole thing out. You're killing yourself. Work smarter, not harder, or both. Do your attachments, are you saving your attachments in proper format? The file size is the right size, or any limits? Do you have your contact information in your signature in your email? This is another pet peeve of mine. People will email me and say, hey, John Wayne, give me a call. And they don't put their phone number in their email. I mean, come on, man. Communication, talking is the way to sell. Harvard did a research study about people being closed via email versus being closed via phone. And it was like a 23% close ratio on email. It was like 58% by phone. So if you ask someone, hey, call me back, and then you don't put your phone number in your email, and that person has to go look through their Rolodex or search their computer or look through their phone to find your number or find an old email you sent with your number on it, again, just close the doors and walk away, because it's just no excuse in business to make it difficult for people to hire you. You need to make it as easy as possible for people to hire you. You want to give your clients no reason to say no except price. And even when that's the case, you want to be able to drop close them. That brings us back to the sales process. Are you quoting right? I get people that say, well, I always give the absolute lowest price. That's not how you do business. Trust me, I've tried it. Being the absolute cheapest is going to get you mostly cheap clients, and cheap clients are hard to make happy. Rich clients, expensive clients are way easier to keep happy than cheap clients, and I can give you prime examples of that as well. When you do communicate, do you request a read receipt and a delivery receipt? Do you have data that you haven't memorized? You know how many clients get on, or I ask them, what's your cage code? And they're like, hold on, let me ask my wife, or let me, it's sitting around here somewhere. Learn your cage code. Learn the military alphabet. Do things that make it easy for them to hire you. If a purchasing agent calls and wants to hire you, and you actually answer your phone, and he says, yeah, what's your cage code? And you're like, hold on, and you're making them wait. No, you should rattle that cage code off like you've memorized that thing 20 years ago. You've used that cage code so many times, you can't forget it. And the easiest way to do that is just to come up with some term that, like my cage code is 5YMD1. So I made up a term, 5 yellow mud ducks 1, and I'll never forget that cage code again. Memorize your fax number. I've had people, purchasing agent says, can I fax you this document? You're like, oh, yeah, hold on, let me get my business card out, see what my fax number is. What, did you just start this company yesterday? Memorize your data. Have it right there. Learn the military alphabet. Alpha, Beta, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot. I've never been in the military, but I learned that because it makes my life easier. It makes it easier to communicate. It makes me seem more professional. It makes purchasing agents, they might assume that I'm ex-military, even though I'm not, and I would never, ever say that I was, and I would never lie about that. And if they ask me, I would absolutely tell them no, but whatever they assume is their problem. If they assume you're going to do a good job because you've memorized the military alphabet, then just do a good job, And really, the bottom line is this, guys. As I just rambled on to you for like 5-10 minutes here and explained all this, you guys are on the edge of your seat because you've been watching my videos. You know what I have to offer will help you. So I'm an expert in this field. So when I talk and I just ramble on like this, you guys are captured, okay? But when you're dealing with clients in the specific industry, that's usually not the case. You don't have their full undivided attention. So you got to learn more about talking less and asking the right questions. Make it look like you're a specialist in your field. If you're not, at least make it look like it, because you need to be. Only give your opinion when asked. Stay away from